Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Craig, where we talk about all things firearms policy, politics, culture, media, you name it. We're talking about it right here on Coffee with Craig. So please take a moment, like and share the program so that your friends can know where the conversation is taking place. Also, by the way, if you haven't already done so, if you're watching us on YouTube and Facebook, make sure you hit that notification button. That way you'll be notified as soon as we go live, and you can participate in the live chat as the program is taking place. Also, I want to remind you, if you are not a member of the Firearms Policy Coalition, you need to become a member today. Folks, it's real simple. All you got to do is go to the join link in the description to this video, or just go to joinfpc.org. Folks, we're doing everything we can to fight for you, to fight for your fundamental right to keep and bear arms in the courts, in the legislatures, in the halls of government, as well as in the media. But folks, we cannot do it without your support. Remember, there is no us without you. So become a member today. It's real simple. As I like to say, you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. Don't be part of the problem. Become a member today. Even if you are a member, there's other ways that you can support. And guess what that is? That's going to FPCGear.com. That's FPCGear.com. It is the place to go to get all of your Pro 2A swag. We have hoodies, we have t-shirts, we even have tank tops. And all of them with very interesting, entertaining, and messages that support our right to keep and bear arms. All messages that you will love. And the best part is, folks, every dollar that you spend goes right back into the fight for a right to keep and bear arms. So you can support the Second Amendment and you can look good doing it. That's FPCGear.com. All right, let's get into today's topic. Now, there may be times where you're dealing with an issue, because if you live in a state like California or Washington or, one of those anti-gun states, right? There's a very good chance that your right to keep and bear arms is being infringed upon. But you don't really know if you have a case, and you're wondering, is there some place that I can go where I can find out, number one, if I have a case, or people who I can talk to, and because lawyers can be expensive. Well, guess what? We at the Firearms Policy Coalition have a solution for you. It's called the 2Ahotline. The way you get there, you just go to 2Ahotline.com. And when you get there, you'll see there's a place where you can put in information. There's a number that you can call, but put in information here where you can hopefully get some information, get some assistance in terms of helping you figure out what exactly is going on with your particular case or your particular situation. To give you a little bit more details and speak about it much more articulately than I just did, we have Associate Counsel with the Firearms Policy Coalition, Mr. Bill Sack.
Hey, Craig. Hey, look, no one told me I had to be articulate on this thing.
Well, seeing as how you are the attorney here and you kind of talk for a living, as long as you stay away from the legalese, you definitely would be much more articulate than I.
I will do the best that I can to use as limited, as few Latin phrases as possible today.
All right, so tell the folks a little bit about the 2Ahotline.
So the 2Ahotline is in place so that anyone all across the country who believes that their rights are being infringed upon can contact the FPC legal team directly. All of their responses goes directly to the legal team and really to my desk first and foremost for review and for either myself or someone else on the team to be able to follow up as necessary.
Excellent. So now I know there are a lot of people out there who are dealing with issues with firearms cases, and they may be thinking, well, this is a good alternative to going out and getting a lawyer if I'm dealing with a situation. I'm going to assume that's a bad idea. You want to talk a little bit with folks why that's a bad idea?
Sure. So, there are things that the 2Ahotline is great for and things that the 2Ahotline is not intended to be used for. So, Firearms Policy Coalition, as you're aware, Craig, we're a public interest organization. So what that means is we get involved in legal matters that have a broader public interest, whether it be at the local, state, or national level. what that means by extension is any individual case may or may not have broader public interest implications. So if it's just a particular person who got caught doing something they're not supposed to do, or is being charged for being in possession of something they're not supposed to have, or for doing something they're not supposed to do, and that really is just an individual level problem, typically that's not something that FPC is going to be able to get involved in. That's something where that individual needs just local defense counsel, maybe local criminal defense counsel. So when folks hit up the legal hotline, the things that you need to keep in mind is that if you have a local criminal matter, odds are you're going to need local criminal counsel at the very least. And if you have a legal matter that is absolutely urgent, as in you have a court date that is coming up in the very near future, the 2A hotline should not be your first level of defense. Get in touch with people as quickly as we can who contact us through the hotline. But if you have a pending legal issue that has an imminent court date, you need to make sure that you're securing your own counsel locally so that your rights are protected.
Right. And, I am not a lawyer, but I would also recommend that not only should you get legal counsel locally, but if it's firearms related, try and make sure you get someone who knows and understands California's firearm law. It's always better if you have someone who understands it. Even criminal law, there are people who specialize in different stuff. And it's amazing just how oftentimes you can wind up with someone who really doesn't know firearms law. Or let me clarify. It is amazing the difference it can make if you have someone who knows it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're facing a legal issue that is firearms law specific, if it matters whether or not your pistol brace equipped firearm was 26 inches overall length or not, or something else that actually involves specifics of firearms law, you want an attorney who knows what they're talking about. And that is a specific skill set. And, to the extent that we may not be able to get involved directly at FPC, in individual criminal matters, because that's just not what we do. Folks can always hit us up on the 2A hotline, explain their issue and where they are in the country, and we may be able to refer them to a local firearms attorney who can provide them the assistance and the counsel that they need.
Yeah, that is vitally important. So, can you give me like any cool examples of cases that have come into the 2A hotline that we've actually wound up by either taking some sort of an action on?
Sure. I mean, it happens all the time. So the 2A hotline, really the bread and butter of what we use that 2A hotline for is for finding plaintiffs for cases that we're interested in filing all over the country. And we'll put out calls on social media and through email blasts and things like that saying like, hey, look, we want to file this case. We want to challenge the assault weapons ban in California. We want to challenge the magazine capacity ban in New Jersey. We need people who are subject to those bans and that are currently facing constitutional injury as a result from them, who live in these jurisdictions. And if so, contact us through the hotline, tell us you're that person, and we'll call you and we'll talk to you about being part of the lawsuit with us. But also we get folks that have an issue going on locally that we might not even know is happening. And we need to have our attention drawn to that. A great example, Craig, is what happened during early COVID. A lot of folks will remember during a lot of the early shutdowns, all of the businesses being shut down included gun shops and included their local law enforcement agency that might have been in charge of processing concealed carry permit applications or taking the fingerprints necessary to put in those applications, those shutting down as well. And we filed multiple cases all over the country and multiple cases in California that are still ongoing, suing particular locales, particular counties who shut down the access of the rights of their people that lived in that locale to their fundamental rights under the Second Amendment.
Yeah, during a time in which there were massive riots breaking out, where crime, including violent crime, started to go through the roof. And at that very same time, they were seeking to restrict the fundamental rights of individuals to be able to defend themselves during those times. It was It was crazy. Now, I also know that some of the cases you take on are not necessarily directly Second Amendment related. Like sometimes it's speech related to Second Amendment, right?
Sure. So, our mandate at FPC is all the rights all the time. And so while we are certainly Second Amendment focused, there are definitely other civil rights that become implicated along with the Second Amendment issue that we protect as well. So, First Amendment cases have been a particular area of focus. We've seen, I know you did the intro for our FPCGear.com, and one of the shirts that we now offer says, I can curse on here, right, Craig? Can I
Oh
curse
yeah.
on
Oh
here?
yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, good. All right. So we have a t-shirt that says fuck gun control, right? Where the F and the K and fuck are like one's an AR and one's an AK. So where that particular graphic came from is from a First Amendment case that we brought in Tennessee where a gentleman named Nick Ennis had a giant bumper sticker on the back of his truck. There you go. That's the one. In neon lime green, no less. That's the color that his sticker was. That says fuck gun control. And his local sheriffs pulled him over for that and gave him a citation. Well, guess what? The settled Supreme Court law in this country for the past 50 years says that you can say fuck gun control just like you can say fuck the draft or fuck the police. That's protected speech. And so just because the sheriff didn't like it, whether or not he was making a statement about gun control or not is irrelevant. He pulled our client over, infringed upon his Fourth Amendment rights from unreasonable search and seizure, and infringed upon his First Amendment right to speak freely about a political issue that he felt strongly about. So that was a case that we brought on behalf of Mr. Ennis in Tennessee, and we received a positive settlement for Mr. Ennis and for FPC. And let's just say that Tennessee sheriff will not be making that mistake again.
Well, if you can say that word, then why are we saying "Let's go, Brandon"? When I first saw it, I thought they were just cheering on, Brandon Combs, the founder and president of FPC.
He'll still tell you that's what they're doing.
Oh, sir. Well, thank you so much for coming on the program. Once again, just give a quick sales pitch for the 2A hotline.
Sure. So anytime that you have an instance that you believe that your Second Amendment rights have been violated or any of your other constitutional rights that they may be related to your right to keep and bear arms, definitely contact us at 2Ahotline.com. It is important and critical that you give us as much information as you can when you contact us. There is an area at the bottom of the hotline sheet that says issues. On that section, that's where you can type in exactly what it is that you are facing. It's critical that you are as specific and as thorough as you can be there so we know exactly what it is that's happening and we know exactly how we are best able to assist you and provide you resources.
Excellent. Sir, thank you so much. Once again, I can't thank you enough every time you come on because I know all of you guys are busy. But I know you're especially busy, so I just want to thank you for all the work that you do and for taking the time to come on and talk to the folks here at Coffee with Craig.
Thank you for having me, Craig. I always got to put my phone on airplane mode when I come to talk to you, so it's quiet and we can talk.
Very much appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bill Sack. All right, folks. Well, hey, that is going to be it for this edition of Coffee with Craig. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. Remember, this is a fight for our civil rights. Gotta use them or you're gonna lose them. You guys take care.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.